wakes up, okay, enough. He would do it too early. He'd say every morning when he wakes up, okay, enough. And I'd be like, you're supposed to say he. And then I wouldn't say he because I figured he wasn't going to say it, and then he'd say it. And I was like, well, what are we doing? Or he'd like skip a line, but we had done it, we ride together to work every day. We get picked up and go to work, and so we have about 30, 45 minutes in the beginning of the day to go through our lines and to think of ideas and to run through cool moments or what we're going to do. And so we knew that day was going to be big because they wanted it to be, very crisp. And so I had him read it a bunch of times because the idea is that Sam is mimicking Dean. And so I wanted to know how he would say it as Dean. So I just had him read it again. And I started kind of doing it silently as he was doing it. And then I was like, all right, let's try it. And so then we gave it a shot. But also right before that scene, we sat in his trailer and just were going da 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 da. And then we sort of put our heads down and went straight to set. We're like, don't talk to us. We're like, go. We're in the zone. And so, and then we got to set and he ruined it all anyways. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was, when I read that, I was like, that's going to be really fun to shoot. And the hardest part was not laughing because everybody else was laughing. And it was sort of, you know what? I also remember, this is weird, but as you're doing it, you're so surprised and happy that it worked that you sort of forget that you have another line coming. So you're going, you don't know everything. Yes, I do. Really? Yeah. Sandwich still wears makeup. And then you're like, we did it. Sandwich is Chris, we did it again. And so you keep on getting excited that you're doing it, that you sort of think about how cool it was, that you just talk at the same time. You're like, yeah, we kick ass. But we ended up getting on camera, so I guess it worked. Thanks. It's not to help, but we're going up against a big bad demon, so we don't know how it's going to work out just yet. Thanks for the question. Sometimes when I'm really heavy in the show, it's hard to be scared because you remember shooting and everything and you're like, oh yeah, here comes the scare. But the one that I can remember most recently that really scared me was The Kids Are All Right with the little suckling kids. And the whole reflection thing, that always scares me, where the camera's coming around and you're like, there's going to be somebody behind him, And you're just going, ooh, I can't wait. But then it breaks back and then they're behind him on the other side. You're like, I wasn't ready for that. I wanted him to be over there with the camera. But that really scared me, and their faces, and yeah, when you see them through the mirror and the glass, that was kind of spooky. So yeah, they do scare me. Most of the times when I watch the show, I'm like being self-critical or like, oh, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have done this. But that show was really like a Dean episode, you know what I mean? It was all about his backstory with the kid. I think I had 2 days off, which is, more than I've ever had. So I got to watch the show as an audience member, and I remember it scared me. Thanks. Current character. That's a good question. I did love Henriksen. He was a lot of fun to shoot with. He was a cool guy, and he did a great job and added a whole new adult element and aspect to the show. I always like the recurring demons for some reason, because I feel like, usually if we run into demons, they have to be killed off. But even from the demon that was Nicky Aycox in season 1 that ended up becoming Sam in season 2 for a little bit. Yeah, because I think it's starting to give us an insight into what it is we're going against. We know ghosts are bad and Wendigos are bad and bugs are bad, and so kill those things. But it's really interesting trying to figure out, because I still like to watch it as an audience member whenever I can and try and figure out what the writers are thinking. Like, I'm in the same boat as y'all guys. I'm going like, what are the writers doing? Like, what are they trying to hint at in this episode that we're going to see in 3 episodes and go, oh yeah, remember when this happened, blah, blah, blah. So I like the recurring demons. And I guess Ruby's been a really cool character because she's revealed so much about Sam. And we're going, wait a second, here's this demon saying that Sam was supposed to be the leader, and like she's trying to get him to turn into a demonoid, android, So I like the recurring demons. I think they tell us a lot about the show. Like I'm definitely I don't want to say I'm a thinker because that makes it sound like I'm intelligent, but I mean I like to think things out. I like to try and see it from different aspects, and it was easy for me to kind of get that aspect of Sam's character, you know, seeing it from this angle instead of that angle, instead of just the first angle, trying to play devil's advocate. Like I'll find myself arguing with Sandy sometimes and saying something that I don't even think is true, but I'm just saying it to try and see where it goes, you know? And so I think Sam has a little bit of that. Sam's like, wait, Dean, like what about this, you know? What if the demon's good? Even if Sam thinks the demon is bad or knows the demon is bad, he's saying, let's think it out first. And the hardest part has been, his willingness to sacrifice himself to hunt ghosts. I mean, it's hard to tap into that in reality, you know? It's hard to go like, oh yeah, that's kind of like how I like to, you know, chase spirits. I'll just tap into that part. So anything dealing with the supernatural, it's been it was tough at first to find the reality because you're going, watch out for the Wendigo, you know? And you want to say it like, da-da-da, but you have to remember that it's real and that you're very scared, but you know what it is. And so his knowledge of ghosts sometimes, there's a scene that we just shot, and I'm saying, and the girl's saying, you know, it said, come to me. And I'm going, what words did he use? She says, come to me, like 1,000,000 times. And then it hits Sam, like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but Sam knows his dad's journal back and forth about all these demons, so that's been the toughest part.